In the heart of the dense Mwanu Forest, a strange sound echoed through the night, a slow, rhythmic drumming. But there was something chilling about it. The elders of Nshoko Village had warned for generations. If you hear the drum, run. If you see the drummer, it's already too late. But that night, Kofi heard it, and worse, he went looking for it. What he saw in the darkness would change his life forever. Long ago, the village of Nshoko was prosperous, but it had one rule: never play the drum of the ancestors. It was kept deep in the forest, hidden in a cave where no human was allowed to go. They said the drum did not belong to men, but to spirits that walked between the worlds. But one fateful night, a desperate man broke the rule, and from that night forward, the cursed drum would play itself, calling out to those who dared to listen. Kofi was a brave but reckless young man. He had heard the stories, but he laughed at them. Ghosts, cursed drums. These are just stories to scare children, he told his friend Abu one evening. But Abu shook his head. You don't understand, Kofi. My grandfather swore that the last man who went looking for the drum came back without his shadow. Kofi scoffed. Shadows do not disappear. I will prove it. And that night, he followed the sound. The forest was colder than usual. The leaves did not rustle. Even the insects had gone silent. The drumming grew louder, but something was wrong. The beats did not echo. It was as if the sound was being swallowed by the night itself. Then he saw it. A large, ancient drum sat in a clearing, bathed in an eerie blue glow. The drumsticks hovered above it, but there was no drummer. Yet the drum played. Kofi's breath caught in his throat. He turned to run, but a voice whispered from behind him. You have heard the sound. Now you must answer. Kofi spun around and froze in terror. A tall figure stood beside the drum. Its body was wrapped in shadow, its hands thin and long. But where a face should have been, there was nothing, just darkness. The faceless figure reached out its long fingers and pointed at Kofi. The drumming stopped. Then it spoke in a voice that did not belong to the living. Play the drum, or lose your shadow forever. Kofi's legs trembled. If he played the drum, what would happen? Would he become like the faceless figure? Would he be cursed to haunt the forest forever? But if he refused, would he ever leave this place? He did the only thing he could. He turned and ran, but with every step, the darkness swallowed him. His shadow stretched, twisted, and then vanished. Kofi screamed, but the village never heard him. By morning, he was back in Nshoko, but something was different. People looked through him, as if he wasn't there. His mother wept when she saw him. His father refused to speak. His best friend, Abu, ran in fear. Then he saw his reflection in the river. He had no shadow. The elders knew what had happened. Kofi had heard the drum, and he did not listen to the warnings. From that day forward, he was there, but not truly. People saw him, but they never remembered him. He lived in the village, but he no longer belonged. And every night, when the world was silent, he could still hear the drum calling his name. This tale is a reminder that some secrets are not meant to be uncovered. Some doors should never be opened. And when the elders warn you, listen. Would you have played the drum, or would you have run?